ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cherry and Timber Talk, and we are back after a long summer vacation. I think we didn't have this privilege in our work lives, but yeah, it kind of took us back to school days where we had a long layoff and then coming back to school. Fortunately, this is not as good or bad as you perceive as a school. It's something which we have fun with. So welcome back, guys. Welcome back, Mahesh, Bhash,
Hi, great to be
and we
back.
have perfect. We have a very very special guest today, Siddharth. How are you doing, man?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Venu. Thanks for introducing me, and I'm doing great, and I'm really excited to be on this show. I've been
Awesome.
following you guys since a long time, since you all started, since the first episode of Cherry and Timber Talk, and I was really impressed with that. I'm really excited to be on the show now.
Thank you very much. And for our audience, just to give a brief introduction to Siddharth, he is a kind of an all-rounder. He wears many hats. He works at a corporate company during the day, during the weekends, and in his free time, he does a lot of interesting things, and that's why he's here. Because he's a commentator, he's a master of ceremony, he's a host, he plays cricket as well. I think we guys probably did not play together yet, but I think we all play in the same circles, and I'm in Pune as well. So, welcome, Siddharth. So, here's a bit of music to kind of welcome you to our show. This is the first time we're doing this, so you are the privileged kind. All right. Thank you very much. Perfect. Perfect. So I think this is more of a continuation of our previous episode that we did probably during the final stages of the IPL, where we also had Rajat with us, and Bhash, Rajat, and Mahesh were alongside, discussing some of the team combinations for the T20 World Cup. And I think a few months down the line, we are still in that phase where we are, they're not there yet in terms of having the final combination. So I'll probably start with Bhash today. Do you think it's problems are plenty, or is it a good problem to have, or are we still unclear, or where are we as of today?
Yeah, although I've been a hardcore optimist of our cricket team, but the last two series have made it. A few selections have been baffling to me. I mean, selections. What I mean to say, not so much of the playing 11, but the batting order and the selections in that sense. One is having Surya Kumar Yadav as an opener, and ending Rishabh Pant's sort of, which I thought was a great move to keep Rishabh Pant as an opener, because I feel that the first match against Pakistan, Shaheen Shah Afridi, I'm petrified of three top order right handers. It just visualizes, since I'm going to be at MCG, I am so scared that visualizing Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, and Kohli. I desperately hope he gets back to form. But the left hander, he would be great, because the
Yeah.
angle of Shaheen Shah Afridi and the other left handers, say a Trent Bolt or
Mhm.
anyone, would be. So I think the Pant experiment was a great choice. I don't know why we have sort of then thought of Surya Kumar Yadav as an extra opener, where I think he's a terrific player at the depth. In case we are going to pick Kohli, and if Kohli is too big a name to be dropped from the 11, then I think DK would be the obvious choice who would be dropped, because you will have Pant then coming at 4 and Surya Kumar and Hardik at 6 and Jadeja at 7. So then it's still, I just don't understand why we have chosen that. And another thing in the bowling, I'm not so sure about Avesh Khan. I mean, he doesn't come anywhere close to our 11 in T20s, when we could have tried someone else. So it's just a little disconcerting, but maybe, I mean, who knows? I mean, Rohit and Dravid know better than us, probably. So there's something they have up their sleeve. So that's just two things which are points of concern
Mhm.
for me. And
Interesting. I
Jadeja's
mean,
bowling. Just one more thing was
Jadeja's bowling as well. Yes, I agree. And I don't know if it's good news or bad news, Bash, but Shaheen Shah Afridi has been ruled out because of a back injury. So, in all probability, I mean, that's what the news said today. And in all probability, we may have an India-Pakistan game without, potentially a Bumrah and an Afridi in their lineup. So, that's a possibility. And this was a news which was just out today, I believe. And
yes.
honestly, yeah, it makes me happy as an Indian fan, but as a cricket fan, I would have loved to see the contest and the continuation of what transpired in the previous World Cup, and continued in this one as well, because we as fans are obviously craving for more India Pak contests, and the World Cups is the only avenue where we actually get to see that actual contest, right, Mahesh? So I think, I don't know. I mean, I feel a little let down by not seeing Shaheen Afridi playing against India.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see a battle of the highest quality, right? And with Shaheen Afridi bowling to the Indian openers, I think it would have been a terrific battle. Yeah, the Asia Cup would have been a great opportunity for us to have realized how good we are. Having said that, I agree with Bhash that Rishabh Pant should open the innings, whatever happens, because it gives us two reasons. It gives primarily two reasons. One, he's a left-hander, so the left-right combination works there for India. Secondly, Rahul and Rohit play. Rahul, Rohit, and Virat all three play a similar form of a game. They don't go explosive right from the go. Whereas somebody like Rishabh Pant, with only two fielders outside the 35-yard circle, he can clear it very easily. So even if he mistimes a shot, it won't go to hand. It can go to a boundary. So for two reasons, I would want Rishabh Pant to open the inning, and I would look at this 20-over match in three parts. The power play, that is 1 to 6, 7 to 14, and 14 to 20. 7 to 14, I would love somebody like Surya Kumar Yadav for the simple reason that he's innovative. He's got shots which can put any bowler, completely out of gear. So he's a very, very key batsman there. While Virat will be there in the first 11 to begin with, probably because we believe that in a big match, a big player will make a lot of difference. I would go with him. But the most important thing is that where will Virat play and when will Virat play? If the openers bat for about 7 or 8 overs, I wouldn't send Virat at 3. I would push Surya Kumar Yadav at 3. So we need to be very flexible with our batting options, because otherwise we might just follow a pattern and we will not have a big score if you're batting first. However, if you're chasing a mediocre total like 140, 150, well, we can send Virat, because he'll be able to probably, if he's in good form, he'll be able to anchor the inning. So these are two things. As far as the bowling is concerned, I'm not sure why they don't consider Mohammad Shami. To me, Shami is a wicket-taking bowler. Anybody who can take wickets should be there in the team. Look at today's match. I don't think it's a great example, but whatever it is. Shardul Thakur picked up 3 wickets.
Yep.
So the moment somebody takes wickets, automatically it checks the flow of runs. So to me, anybody who gives you an opportunity to pick up wickets, he should be there in the team. And I think Shami at the beginning of the innings, with his swing and seam, will be able to pick wickets. So to me, Shami should be there in the team along with Bumrah. The third would be a choice between Deepak Chahar and Bhuvi. I would go with Bhuvi to begin with, because of his experience, and he's got great control over the ball, over swinging ball. And spin, of course, it has to be Chahal and Jadeja. And Hardik Pandya would be there to, if somebody has a bad day, he'll be a perfect cushion.
Interesting. Gurmeet says that Arshdeep will be our wild card, which I kind of tend to agree as well on current form. His combination is 4 batsmen, 1 keeper, 2 all-rounders, and 4 bowlers. It sounds very easy, Gurmeet, when you break it down like that, but when we actually put the names on the board, it's the most hard thing to do. So on that note, let's ask Siddharth. In terms of Mahesh made a couple of interesting points. One is return of Deepak Chahar, and I definitely feel, in the absence of potentially Bumrah is not playing, right? And if for some reason they don't consider Shami, will you take the risk of playing both him and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, considering how good Deepak Chahar is with the bat as well, not just with the ball? I'm just thinking, will that add a lot of meat to our batting as well, alongside Hardik Pandya as the seam bowling all-rounder?
So I think having you on the show today will completely will give this proper debate feel, because I am completely of different opinions.
Okay.
So for me, I have 4 fast bowlers out there in the hunting, and that would be Bumrah if Bumrah is fit, and then I have Arshdeep on my list. I have Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and I have Harshal Patel as my T20 specialist bowler on my list. I regard Harshal Patel really high, and you're talking about wickets. He is a wicket taker. You will rarely see a match where Harshal has not picked up wickets. There are days when he might go for runs, but he definitely is a wicket taker in the T20 format. Be it
and a decent batsman as well, Siddharth.
And a decent batsman. Yes, and a decent batsman as well. So I will have Harshal Patel ahead of Deepak Chahar on my list. Because as far as the batting goes, I think Deepak Chahar and Harshal Patel are at par. But with the bowling, Harshal provides more options with the death bowling. Maybe in the power play, because you have Hardik Pandya as well in the scheme of things, so he can support the main fast bowler with the new ball, and Harshal can maybe have 1 over in the power play, 2 overs in the middle, or 2 overs at the death. He can provide those slots at anywhere you require. Same
Interesting.
goes for Arshdeep. Arshdeep is bowling really well with the new ball, picking up wickets with the new ball, and he's bowling well at the death. So
Correct.
why not have Harshal Patel and Arshdeep Singh both to have that firepower, those variations towards the death, and another bowler along with Hardik Pandya, be it Bhuvneshwar Kumar or Bumrah, to go in with the new ball and take up wickets with this swing.
Interesting. I think, and that's the reason why I asked that question in the beginning of the show. Do we have problems of plenty in terms of so many choices, but we don't know where to fit them in terms of the playing
Yes.
11,
So
right? So,
in
yep.
terms of the Indian selection conundrum, I feel that if someone has an injury, the selectors will be happy that okay, one less of a headache to select.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's that. And in fact, that's a point that even Yogesh made on our post on social media that right now we could literally play two teams, and that's the problem that we have, and we could have the same kind of combinations in both of those teams, right? So obviously, and which is an interesting thing because Indian cricket over the years, if you see, has always been about those 4 or 5 big names in the team, right? And then there'll be others rallying around them. But now we have almost every individual having their own role to play in the team itself, right? For example, Rohit Sharma, the leader, right? Rishabh Pant, the keeper and the dashing batsman, or Dinesh Karthik, the finisher. Bhuvneshwar, the guy who picks wickets in the first, power play and stuff, and then you have the death bowling of Bumrah and all those things. So obviously, every role is well defined now. So that's why we are kind of facing this issue, which we probably may not have faced before, because earlier we were kind of hunting for people who could do specific roles, but now we are having so many guys who could fit into those roles, and now we are kind of trying to find the right and the best combination. So I think coming back to Bhash, so now that we have seen the players and the names, right, and obviously we know who's there, who's not, and in terms of the reckoning, but given the conditions, right, being Australia, right, so do you think that could play a huge role in selection as well? Because obviously we've spoken a lot about fast bowlers. In the spin department, I'm pretty sure that Yuzvendra Chahal will be a regular starter for every game, because given his form and his experience, and I think he'll be a sure shot selection. Do you think the second spinner slot will be kind of debated between a Jadeja and an Akshar Patel on current
Yes.
form, or do you think that Jadeja kind of walks in again?
I think Jadeja walks in the team for two reasons. One is the spin. I mean, one is his fielding, and that is something that a brilliant catch of say a Babar Azam or a Rizwan. It's
Yeah.
something he can do magic on the field. So Jadeja has that X factor, and
Mm-hmm.
also Jadeja's batting. I still rate him very. He's one of the most improved batsmen. I know
Yes.
Akshar, scored that that he scored at a terrific knock in West Indies, but
Yeah.
in terms of skill, pure skill, I think Jadeja still, would be or Akshar in my team. But of course, if Jadeja hasn't, Akshar is the closest
Like to like.
like replacement.
Yeah.
And I'm not so. So I would also think that, say, in a match like Perth,
Mm.
where we can sort of unleash against South Africa. If you want to unleash the problem with Yuzvendra Chahal that I see is that, see, his fielding and his batting, it's almost zilch, right? He has to be on top of bowling form. Like
Yeah.
Bumrah has still improved his batting, after, I mean, that freak over abroad, but even otherwise, he's improved his batting. So, Chahal has to show like really good form. The stakes for him are very high. Even a small dip in form in
Yeah.
bowling
Yeah.
can sort of see him out of the 11. Now, it's not the time that you need players has some small cameo in number 8 or 9 can sort of add
Yeah.
that extra 20 runs in a knockout match. So I think
Correct.
Chahal, maybe he'll be in my 11 in say Sydney and Melbourne, but I'm not so sure of Perth, where we could have say a Deepak Hooda and a Jadeja if it's not required. If a spinner is not required and in Perth,
Yep.
so we need to be flexible in that respect. I mean, if unless and if Chahal has a dip in form, but yeah, he walks into my 11 too. So I think what you said is,
Mm.
I completely agree. We'll have to have
Yeah.
conditions.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard on Akshar Patel as well, because honestly, he whenever he has been called into the team, he's done a job. Be it Test cricket, be it ODI cricket, be it T20 cricket, right? I mean, you can't really fault the guy for doing what he does best, right? And I think in terms of bowling, I agree with you, Bhash. The kind of wicket to wicket bowling that Akshar does, and the slider that he has, which kind of crashes into the stumps, that's hard to read as well. So I think that's been a bit of an X factor for him in white ball cricket for sure. Even in Test cricket, right? Remember the game at Ahmedabad where we closed out England in 2 days. None of the balls turned and everything went through straight, right? So which tells you that he's a hard bowler to kind of get away. When he bowls that stump to stump line, and I think that's why it's a bit of a difficult choice, honestly. But yeah, you rightly said, a run out from Jadeja or a brilliant catch could change the course of the game itself, right? Like we saw in England, how he took that brilliant catch of Livingston at the boundary line, right? So,
Absolutely.
so I think that's something which he brings.
Since Ashwin is in the scheme of things again, the one to challenge Chahal could be probably Ashwin, considering his he shows. Bowling form. You never know, because he's somehow in the scheme of. That's why I'm just a little confused of the selections that we are making. It's causing more confusion and probably a bit of insecurity too. I'm not so sure, because the Yuzvendra Chahal has to fight again. Probably Akshar and Ashwin. He's suddenly in the mix now, in at least T20. So.
And don't forget Ravi Bishnoi also. Ravi Bishnoi is also in the
Bishnoi, yes. And is Kuldeep Yadav in the scheme of things at all, or no? Right now, I'm just thinking, because he comes back and goes out again. So it's been in and out for him too, right?
And Deepak Chahar today, why did he not play? I'm really surprised. As Mahesh said, that Shami is not being picked in the reserve in the T20 squad. So it's very difficult for him to come. Even Siraj has been picked. Siraj, who's been bowling so well, isn't being picked over. And Avesh Khan is preferred in the Asia Cup. I really don't understand. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird selection in terms of getting Avesh Khan all the time. So I'm not too sure what the team selection has seen in terms of white ball form. Current form, I definitely feel there are replacements waiting to kind of take that spot any day, right? So it's interesting. So let's now address the elephant in the room, Mahesh. Let's give you the hard question. If you had to fit in Virat Kohli, first of all, whom do you remove from the current setup? Who will you drop? I'll give you my personal preference that I would definitely not drop DK at all on current form, because we need a person to finish games like that. And, and he's a specialist in that role now. Whatever we saw with, say, an MSD years ago, now he's doing that job of, scoring runs at a brisk rate as well. That is something, you give him 4 overs, he'll score a 50. You give him 10 balls, he'll score a 30, right? So that's what he's doing day in and day out. So I mean, given that, if you don't want to drop DK, who will you drop from the top order?
KL Rahul.
Okay. And who will you open with?
Because I'm going to put Rishabh Pant as an opener. That's what I believe in. Mm-hmm. So to begin with, I will play Virat Kohli at 3.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of minutes. If he continues his bad form, then we know whom to drop. Then it's a no-brainer, right? See, another thing in Australia we should keep in mind is size of the ground. Okay. So we need good field. Okay. To cover ground in Australia is not going to be easy. You can't have probably an Ashwin can only field in the inside circle. You can't put him if it's at Melbourne or Sydney. If you put him on the boundary, then he's going to struggle. So that ones can become twos very easily, and at the end of the game, we will stand in that. So you need a Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli can field in the boundary very easily. So these are things that the team selection will have to take into account. It might not be pure batting, but Virat Kohli will be able to contribute in fielding. Also, he's an experienced guy. At least at the beginning of the tournament, I would play him. Well, he will have something to prove in the Asia Cup. If he plays well in the Asia Cup, we know that he's in good form. If he struggles in the Asia Cup, yet I will give him one chance in the World Cup, because he scored runs very heavily in Australia. He's in a comfort zone in Australia. He scored runs heavily out there. So when you go to a ground where you've scored runs previously, the confidence level is high. So he will be there in my playing 11. The easiest person to drop is KL Rahul. Anyway, today he's helped me also.
And I think one more interesting aspect, Mahesh, which you brought out, obviously, his fielding also stops the flow of runs, but also is running between the wickets, right? So I think if he can replicate what he did in 2016, right, against like he did against Australia and Mohali and against even West Indies in Mumbai, the amount of twos that he ran, right, that can make a significant difference. That could be a difference between an 8 run over versus a 12 to 14 run over, right? Because if you get a couple of twos in between those boundaries, that makes a huge difference. And that also rotates strike continuously as well, right? So I think that's something which is of prime importance. So that, do you agree with Mahesh in terms of playing Kohli, or what's your opinion?
No, I feel Kohli will definitely will be playing. There's no doubt about that, and not
Okay.
like
So
in
is
the
that your
11.
opinion, or are you thinking from Rohit Sharma's standpoint?
No, from every point,
Okay.
till the
Okay.
World Cup, Kohli is not going anywhere unless and until
Mm-hmm.
he himself decides to like step away.
Mm-hmm.
So unless that happens, Kohli is not going anywhere. Kohli will be there. Definitely, he'll be
Okay.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, he's hungry for runs more than ever. So he will
Yep.
be there. And I will bat him at three, no doubt. And
Mm-hmm.
for me,
So does Sky bat at 4 then in that case?
I will have Hardik Pandya bat at four and Sky at five.
Okay.
I will have Sky in the middle order. Hardik
Mm-hmm.
Pandya just to push the things a little bit over there. He can rotate the strike also. He can score those big. Even Sky can do that, but I personally will have Hardik at four and Sky at five just to add that cushion towards the ending if required.
Okay.
And I might not have Rishabh Pant in my 11.
Okay. So will you
So
have
that's
KL
the
Rahul
person
instead?
who goes out. Yeah. So if Rohit and Rahul open, Kohli at three, Pandya at
Mm-hmm.
four, Surya at five,
Mm-hmm.
Jadeja in six, DK at seven for me. And DK has proved himself like over Rishabh Pant for me. That's my opinion, and he
Okay.
definitely deserves to be there. DK does not go out for me.
Mm-hmm.
So the person which I feel is Rishabh Pant, which will be moving out of my 11. But
Mm-hmm.
again, it will be a very hard call for the selectors and for Rohit Sharma because Pant in himself is a very big name, like
Yep.
Virat Kohli. So
Yep.
Pant is a very big name. The problem with Rishabh Pant is that he plays that one good knock, like in 5-6 matches, and which makes him like stay over there.
And this
And
is
what happens?
purely white ball cricket we're talking about, right? Not test cricket at all.
So
So yeah.
what happens is Pant is playing all three formats. So his
Yep.
performance in another format makes him stick around in the T20 format as well. If you purely look at the T20 performances, I guess Pant has not performed at that expectations for me. One, two
Mm.
innings, yes, definitely he's been like the man of the match or he's taken the game away from the opposition. But one match, two match, but five,
Yep.
6 matches, 10 matches, may 1, 2 innings. And even if
Yep.
you're opening with him, I think Pant is free flowing against the spinners. He just unleashes himself
Mm.
like more than the fast bowlers. He prefers the spinners, and with the new ball swinging, even with the power play, you feel like okay, Pant is trying to negate the new ball sometimes, so he's not playing his natural game. He's trying to stay there so that he does not lose his wicket. We've seen him do that when he opened the innings quite a few times, and that's why I think that Pant experiment did not work that much. We didn't see those dividends. I guess 120 or 30 odd innings he played, but apart from that, there were not much returns from him. Then we moved towards Sky opening the innings with Rahul not around. So,
Mm.
in my opinion, that's the top seven. And Huda will be there in the scheme of things in the squad. So, if you want to replace anyone, so maybe Rahul is injured, then Pant comes in, or like if you need a second spinner and you do not want to play Chahal, then again Huda comes in for me. Jadeja will be there definitely. Jadeja is again another big name. He contributes in some way or the other, so he will be there in the 11. And the bowlers
Interesting.
I've already spoken about. Yeah.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, I think. Yeah, but somewhere I don't know. I mean, be it Pant or Ishan Kishan, I'm on the same side as Bhash because I think we need a left and right hand opening combination to kind of negate different bowling attacks, and that really helps a lot as well, right? And I've been a fan of that combination since the Ganguly Tendulkar days, and I definitely feel that it works. Even Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan as well, right? So if you see most of the successful opening pairs in the history of the game as well, right? Predominantly have been left and right hand as well. So, especially with India. So I think somewhere we kind of need to find that combinations again in white ball cricket. So that helps a lot. You
So,
had a point,
It's the
Siddharth,
Mahesh.
problem of the plenty. It's the problem of the plenty. So the people who are given the opportunities right now, they are performing so well, so it makes it difficult to leave them out. And so yeah,
Hmm.
that's what's
so,
happening.
so Siddharth, KL is your opener and DK is your keeper, right? As I understand.
Right, right. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I am a big fan of now Pant the keeper. So for me, Pant walks into the 11. Apart from that left-hander, but Pant's keeping. I was not happy with DK, so I'm not so sure that we're going to change the wicket keeper for the World Cup. So that's also, I think, he's improved immensely. Like I really don't remember last time that he flopped up a chance. There was. So in the last couple of years, he has been fantastic as
Yeah,
a
as a
keeper.
keeper, yes, definitely. I mean, especially what we saw in England as well, right? In that ODI game where he took a couple of really cool catches as well.
So
Yeah.
I'd agree with Mahesh here. I think KL or DK. I mean, I know it's very harsh on Karthik, but unfortunately, the role that Hardik Pandya does, Sky does, the rest do. I think it's that competition for the finisher spot. So either we don't pick KL or we don't pick DK. I mean, it's unfortunate, but yeah, it's harsh. It's very harsh.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, Mahesh, has KL Rahul played enough games in the recent past to even merit a selection above others?
Absolutely.
See,
So,
the fact that he didn't play anything after the IPL, and see, if you don't have adequate match practice, you're going to struggle, right? So, I mean, till he really shows his, oh, he's a terrific player. Make no mistake about it. I mean, I'm just looking at what he is right now. I mean, otherwise, he's a fabulous player. I mean, he can really hit well. He's a good stroke player. But to me, because I'm a big advocate of a left-right combination, like what Bhash said, it upsets the bowling completely because you're bowling leg side or offside. I mean, you don't bowl to a certain pattern. And in T20, anything, even an inch out down the leg side is a white ball. So the bowlers, the primary objective is to ensure that the ball doesn't go down the leg side. So with that kind of a mindset, the wicket taking ability reduces. That's one of the reasons why this left right combination works so well. And if you can
yeah.
keep taking singles, it works beautifully. And why KL Rahul, why DK instead of KL Rahul is it? So at 3, if Virat is there, then you don't need another batsman like KL Rahul. Then you need the hitters. See,
Yep.
if they like what I keep saying, there has to be a lot of flexibility. It depends when the first wicket falls, when the second wicket falls. You can't have a standard batting order and say, yeah, whenever it goes, Virat walks in at number 3. No, if the first wicket falls at the 12th over, Virat is not going to bat at number 3. You're going to send somebody like Hardik Pandya, Surya Kumar Yadav, or somebody like that to go and score runs quickly because he would have got a good platform. So what happens is with somebody like Pant right at the top of the order, your run rate is up there. I mean, in the first 6 overs, you need to target 60 runs. I mean, make no mistake. I mean, these days that is possible. I mean, a lot of teams do it. 6 overs, 60 runs. Then the middle overs of 8 overs, you score another 70 odd runs. So you go to the last 6 overs at about 130. Then you are looking at 180, 190, which I think would be a bare minimum in these World Cup matches because you've
Yep.
got great hitters on every single team. Look at that English
Yeah.
batting lineup. I'm sure it's not going to be easy to control them. I mean, if any of them get going, I mean, 180, 190 is going to be very easy for them to get, right? So all
Yep.
these things taken into account, if we bat first, we need to score 180, 190. That should be the bare minimum. Anything more than that is welcome. However, but if we are chasing and we have a smaller total, then Virat Kohli's role is a big role to play because he'll be able to actually anchor the team. So everybody's got a role to play. This is two things. A, fitness. We hope that all these guys are fit for the World Cup because these guys now seem to be falling one after the other. And secondly, form. We'll know about that in the Asia Cup. Another thing that actually baffles me that when is the last time the entire Indian team played together? We are sending different teams to different places. I don't know whether Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Rishabh Pant, all of them have played together. I don't know after the IPL whether they've all played together. So first we need to have a tournament or a few matches where they all play together as a team, and then probably announce the World Cup squad.
Which probably was the case with Asia Cup. If everybody was fit, I think that was the best testing ground for the World Cup itself, right? Because you're playing competitive teams in that tournament against Pakistan, against Sri Lanka, and it's like a perfect practice scenario for the big event as well. The World Cup. Playing in 2 big tournaments back to back would obviously tell you a story in terms of which is the best combination. Right, so yeah, I think the way cricket is going nowadays, I don't think we'll ever get to see an India 11 which is the strongest or the most consistently played 11, across.
On a lighter note, I think even Pujara, the way he's going, is going to be in the mix of things in ODI cricket at least.
I was about to post on social media, unpopular opinion. Pujara walks into the side right now on current form over Kohli. So
Actually, the manner in which I've seen some statements, the manner in which the amount of sixes he has hit is probably his career sixes from Khanderi ground in Rajkot till the last test match that he played for India. He started hitting sixes.
yeah, I know. I think probably Kohli should have also played county cricket then. So just to get back that, yeah, interesting. All right, guys. I think lots of interesting comments, and I think probably we wanted to come down to one possible combination, but like we all discussed, it's hard to come down to that in today's day and age, and especially I think the way we started off this conversation, it still looks like it's a problems aplenty, and I think we really can't say that this will be the ideal combination unless we kind of play together or play enough games together, right? So, but one silver lining is, in fact, we have a comment here from Mahesh, from Mayur. KL, Rohit, Surya, Kohli, Pant, Pandya, Jadeja, Chahal, Bhuvneshwar, Arshdeep, Harshal Patel. Yes, that looks like an ideal combination. Yeah.
Bumrah.
Who's missing here? So
DK is missing over there.
DK
Bumrah
is
is
missing. Yeah, DK and Bumrah is missing. Okay,
I think he's
interesting.
talking about the Asia Cup. I think.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean,
Harshal is also not there in the Asia Cup. So okay.
sorry.
Harshal is also injured, no? So
Actually, that was my concern as well. That's why I didn't name him initially, because of the the injury that he had, and I'm not sure whether he'll be available for selection as well.
Yeah, because that's the reason when I was writing down their team, I didn't take Harshal Patel. If he's not going to be considered. My biggest shock is why don't they even consider Shami? I mean, if nothing else, there he can go and pick up some wicket with the new ball. Especially the IPL, he bowled brilliantly. I thought he bowled brilliantly.
Yes, Shami definitely yes, and I think his experience would also count in Australia.
how is workload management? I can understand Shami last played an ODI in England. He's not playing in West Indies. He's not playing ODIs in Zimbabwe. Now, for 4 overs, I don't understand. And in absence of Bumrah, I don't understand this concept of workload management. I mean, it just baffles me. I can understand if it's a long, test tour where he's bowled. He's just to bowl 4 overs. He literally has to bowl like 24 overs, even if he reach the. That's what he bowls in England in 2 days. I mean,
Sometimes even in one day.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I will go with Siddharth with Arshdeep. I think he's a good talent. He's a good kid to have because he can bowl his Yorkers well. He's a good death over bowler. We need those kind of bowlers because a lot of times he would have bowled well till the 16th over. In the last 4 overs, we get so much of runs that the opponents just run away with the match. So for that, actually, Bumrah, Harshal Patel, Arshdeep, these guys are phenomenal in the death overs. I mean, if we can get all of them fit for the World Cup, I think, then you're right, Venu, we have a problem of plenty then.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be Rohit Sharma in the current setup to do the team selection. And
but Siddharth also said one very interesting thing. He said that Rishabh Pant plays 1 in 4 matches, 1 in 3 matches, a brilliant inning. I would still take it if he plays that 1 innings against Pakistan. I don't mind. I would still believe that he's worth anything.
He's too big a name to be dropped. So I feel that it won't be Pant who will get that axe, but it will be either a DK or KL or maybe Surya for that matter. So to get in Pant.
No, Surya is too good. I don't think Surya they will touch Surya.
I mean, the
option is only KL and DK then. KL or DK.
Yeah.
See, you know what? Surya can even hit a good ball outside the boundary. And those are special skills, I mean, he can play all 360 degrees, right from third man to fine leg. So you wouldn't want to drop somebody of that caliber. You could probably, Rahul might take a little more time, but Surya started his international debut by hitting Jofra Archer for a 6, and the way he hit it. So he's that kind. So you would.
I mean, that pickup shot on the onside is something phenomenal. I've never seen somebody play it with that ease, right? That too to a short delivery. It's not even that scoop that somebody plays. It's like over here somewhere.
self-confidence is very high of Surya.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't think they will mess around with him.
I think the only player who is actually indispensable is Hardik Pandya, because in case, God forbid, he is injured, then our whole balance
Yeah,
I
gets
think
he's gone.
if you
Yeah,
ask me, Bhash, we are right now making our team around Hardik Pandya. That's it. That's
exactly.
what we are doing
God
because
forbid,
he's the only
if
constant there.
that third seamer, his bowling form has also improved. I mean, he before his back injury, he had started bowling well. He's thankfully got back to that bowling form, bowling in the
Yeah.
mid 140s.
I think he should be just told to just play as a batsman. Majority of the matches, just bowl an over or two, and not overstrain him, because we need his services in the World Cup. That's more
Yeah.
important for us.
Yeah, I think honestly, I mean, I was a little disappointed when he was taken out of the test reckoning because, I definitely felt he had potential to be a great all-rounder because the way he took those 5 wickets, even in England last time when he bowled, right? I felt that he has that knack in him to kind of, be a consistently good all-rounder as well. So, yeah, somewhere I was a little disappointed that he's not anymore in the test match setup. Because obviously that will be a huge bonus as well if somebody can bat at say number 5 or number 6 and bowl as well, right? So even if he picks up 2 wickets, right, that's good enough. Even in South Africa, he played pretty well when we actually played in 2018 in Test cricket as well, right? So I think somewhere I felt that that was a phase where people started comparing him with Kapil Dev as well, and I think that's where the hype increased a lot. But I think the similar story, Siddharth, again, just like some of the others, we were discussing this before, right? Captaincy has kind of given a new lease of life to certain cricketers. Like, it happened with Rohit Sharma, it happened with, say, MS Dhoni during his time when he became captain for the first time, right? So it kind of
Right.
elevates players towards like a different level altogether. So I think that's what has happened here as well.
Yeah. Also, I feel if he was fit throughout, then he would have got more chances at the test level. But when he was not bowling because of his fitness, then Hardik Pandya, the batsman in the test squad, that became a
Yeah.
question mark, and that's why he
Yeah.
was like out of the reckoning of the test side.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
All right.
But he's very
Let's-
important.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Especially in the Australian conditions. Yeah.
yes.
We need it.
Yep.
Brilliant fielder. What else? So he contributes in all the 3 departments. Now somebody like Chahal is only in one department. The 3 department, you need him. You need him.
Yes.
And just because I missed the match today, why was Deepak Chahar dropped? I mean, if we have to sort of, is he still have? I mean, are we? I just didn't realize it. If you guys have any clue as to why he's dropped after, because I think he bowled quite well in the first match.
Yeah, he picked up wickets also.
Yeah.
Man of the match.
Yeah, so
Not
we need to,
sure.
if we have, so if a Bowie is injured or God forbid, Samit, then Deepak Chahar is the closest like to like replacement, with the new ball and
To
as a
Bowie.
batsman. I think we need to sort of keep him in the mix.
So today they got in Shardul Thakur. He picked up 3 wickets. Anybody who comes like a first game picked up 3 wickets.
Like to like
We're not even
replacement.
talking about Shardul Thakur in the scheme of things of T20.
Exactly. I was about to say the same thing. So you could consider how how much rich in backup talent do we have to not discuss, say, initially Harshal Patel or Shardul Thakur to kind
Where is
of
Umran Malik?
Umran Malik. Yeah, he's completely out of reckoning. So yeah, he played one series and after that, yeah, the hype kind of died down. Yeah, interesting. So I think probably once we will continue this discussion at a later stage, but I think I'm just thinking next time when we discuss, we'll probably have to discuss the fact that where is international cricket heading now in terms of bilateral series? Are we looking at going the football way, the Premier League way, wherein we just play leagues for T20 cricket or, say white ball cricket and the World Cups, or how's it going to be? Because a lot of people have started advocating that we should play just World Cups and the rest should be leagues. But again, how do you pick a squad for a World Cup based on that level of data, right? If you don't play together as a team, so that's going to be an interesting conundrum. And yeah, it's cricket is heading in a different direction. So yeah, we will discuss that for another day. So thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for your time today. Siddharth, loved having you today on the show. So yeah, we'll get you back for another discussion someday.
Sure, I'll be happy to do that. And I hope I provided this a debate sort of a feel, because if everyone starts agreeing with everything, then it won't be a debate then.
Yeah,
We,
don't worry.
we love when
We love disagreements.
I'm a lawyer, so I live on that.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have objection, my lord. We have we have a lawyer with us. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great Saturday evening. We'll catch up soon. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Yeah, bye bye.